Hey everybody, this is Jacqueline Luqman and you're here in Brick by Brick. I just wanted to take a few minutes to welcome everybody to the page, to formally welcome everybody to the page. Everybody, thank you so much for liking the page. Thank you so much for watching the videos that I've done so far. And I'm hoping that you've had a good time. I'm hoping that you've enjoyed the videos that I've done so far. I'm hoping that the information that I've provided in those videos has been helpful to you, has been kind of eye-opening, and I can see the reflection off my glasses. That's disturbing even me. And I'm hoping that you have learned some new information from those videos. Because we've talked about the origins, basically, of this doctrine of discovery and how it's affected indigenous people throughout history. We've talked about the origins of the age of exploration and the idea behind the Christian nations having the right to claim land in other countries, on where that thinking comes from. It's not actually any real religious doctrine or tenet at all. It's really just a basis of greed. It's just an action of greedy people who just happen to have authority through the Catholic Church in antiquity. So the past few videos, we have really focused on the age of exploration, the doctrine of discovery, Christopher Columbus, and how those three ideas, those three concepts, those three moments in history, or those three historical issues converged to wreak absolute havoc on indigenous populations, mostly in the Caribbean, and I touched a little bit on Africa, because, as I said last week, while Christopher Columbus was laying waste to Haiti, the same thing was going on under the Portuguese in Africa. The same thing was going on in Peru. The same thing was going on. So this was not an isolated attack on indigenous people. This was a worldwide phenomenon. And because it was a worldwide phenomenon, North America can't be excluded from this discussion. Because even though we recite the poem about, Christopher Columbus sailing the ocean blue in 1492 and discovering North America, he actually never landed in North America. But the concepts that he based his conquests on did make their way here to the shores of what we know today as this country. So we do have to talk about how, even though Christopher Columbus never made it to North America, the doctrine of discovery did. And so this Wednesday night at 9 p.m., we're going to talk about a little bit about how that thinking, the idea of the doctrine of discovery, made its way to the North American continent, and how it ended up in the colonies here, what it looked like, and what it did in relation to the indigenous population that was already here when the colonists came. And I know it's out of season, but we're going to talk about Thanksgiving a little bit, what Thanksgiving really is, what it really signifies, what really happened. And we are going to end up connecting all of this to what we all saw happen in Standing Rock. It's fascinating history. It is very disturbing and uncomfortable history to research. I can't tell you how many times I became emotional as I did the research, and I'm reading all this stuff and I'm crying my eyes out wondering, how am I going to relay this to people who've never heard it before? Hi everybody. Hi Sandy. Hi Kier. Hi Kim. How are you? It's hard to research this stuff, but I think it is so important for us to understand that when we look at issues that we're having such a hard time understanding today, there's a historical basis for all of it. None of it is new. None of the issues that we are facing in this country and in this world really today that we're having a hard time figuring out how to fix, none of it is new. And while there are many things that we can do right now, as far as politics and legislation and activism that we need to do to address these issues, we also need to understand how we got here. Because, as I said before, those who do not remember history are doomed to repeat it. I didn't say that, actually. Somebody much smarter than I did said it. But this is a refrain that we repeat all of the time, but we never seem to actually get down to the bones, the bare bones of actually living that out. So that's what I'm trying to do with this issue, with Standing Rock, with the treatment of Native Americans, with the passivity of our government in the face of what happened to our Native brothers and sisters up in Cannonball, North Dakota, and trying to explain to people how our government could have been not only so unconcerned about what was done to Native Americans in the Sioux tribe there, but how our government was actually complicit. People want to know why that is. People want to know how our government could have allowed that to happen. And that's the purpose of this series. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed the first two videos. And by enjoy, I mean, I hope you got information from those videos that you didn't know before. And I hope you stick around Wednesday night for part 3 of this series, where I am going to be focusing on the colonies in North America and the history of the colonists in relation to the indigenous population here. And then hopefully I'm going to follow that up with the last video in the series, where I'm going to talk about the modern history of the struggle of Native Americans for justice and equality, and what that's meant in the past 40, 50 years, what it's looked like, because this struggle has been ongoing by them. There is an entire movement that most Americans have never heard of, that Native Americans have been embarked upon. So on the 4th series, which I hope will be next Wednesday night, I'm going to talk about that. And we're working on lining up an interview with a good friend of mine. I'm hoping I can get him. I'm not going to tell you who it is. It's going to be one of 2 people who are good friends of mine. And I want to be able to end these series with discussions with people who are in the struggle, who actually know a lot more about the struggle than I do. And so we can have a real-time conversation with these people. So, listen, if you guys have questions, if you have questions that you want me to try to answer, the email address for Brick by Brick is on the Facebook page. Go to the About section, find the email address, click on it, shoot me an email and ask questions that you want me to try to answer, and I'll do some research and I'll see if I can answer them for you. We're going to start streaming Brick by Brick on Facebook so that you guys have a chance to chat with me in real time, and I'll try to have somebody monitoring the page so that you can shoot some questions there too, and then the videos will be available on our YouTube channel for further viewing and uploading. And as always, share the videos and the content, and invite your friends to join in on this discussion. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for just a quick chat today. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow night. I'm sorry, Wednesday night. I forgot what day it is. Wednesday night at 9 p.m. right here on Brick by Brick with me, Jackie Luqman, for part 3 of this series called Standing Rock and Beyond. How did we get here? Thanks a lot, you guys. I'll see you soon.